Welcome back to the Joy Work Show, the podcast where we celebrate the hustle, heart, and joy of running a business, where we know that the greatest joy so often comes after the greatest challenges. I'm your host, Diane, strategist, coach, occasional accountability buddy, and tough love specialist. And today I'm bringing you another solo episode. And today I want to talk about, as the year winds down, about reflection and resetting. I'm taking stock of wins, lessons, and challenges, and why it's so important for you to do the same, not just for the business, but for you. As I record today's intro to the episode, I am at the end of a very festive weekend, and I'm very much staying in the present to enjoy the time with my family, to enjoy everything that this time of year can bring from a really lovely, joyful point of view. But I have one eye at the moment set on 2025. I have one eye set on the future. And as much as I want to stay in the present and enjoy, I know that by reflecting, resetting, planning what I want for 2025 is going to bring me a greater holiday period. So that is why I wanted this episode to come out today, and that is why I want you to spend the time with me having that reflection and reset. I'll share why this time of year is perfect for realignment, some practical steps to guide your own reflection process, and how it all ties back to building a purposeful, joy-filled business. So let's get started. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you do, please come and follow us and share to anybody else who might need this too. Let's go. Hi, I'm your host, Diane. And today we're diving into something every entrepreneur, business owner, and I would argue every human being needs but often skips: time to reflect and reset. I like to think of it in business terms as a time out for your business. It's a chance to pause, assess what's working, what's not, and realign with the bigger vision that's driving it all. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is as we approach the end of the year, there is no better time to reflect and reset. And as you listen to this podcast, perhaps you can think about it in terms of your whole life, of your personal life, of your family life, as well as that of your business. So it's interesting to look at it from a yearly point of view, and not just for the last quarter, but for the entire year. This season naturally invites us to look back at how far we've come, what we've accomplished, and what we've learned along the way. But so importantly, it's a chance to celebrate the wins, honour the challenges, accept the lessons that they taught us, and accept that they happened, and accept that they stretched us and changed us, and we might be a newer, brighter version of ourselves because of that, and realign with our bigger vision for the future. If we think of it as closing one chapter and setting the stage for the next, but we're not closing that chapter and leaving it behind. We're honouring that chapter. We're letting that chapter teach us something. We are taking the lessons from that chapter. We're taking the wins from that chapter, and we're allowing it to set us up for the next stage with clarity and intention leading the way. Taking stock now isn't just a business move. It's a powerful way to step into the new year feeling grounded, focused, and ready to take on what's next. Now, whether you are one of those individuals, business owners who are up and out the starting blocks on the 2nd of January, refueled, reignited, and ready to go, or you're a more ease into the year and slowly come out of hibernation. I remember last year was my first Christmas period since starting my own business, and somebody at the start of the year said that I was too full of jumping beans in January. They were still in their wintering phase. So if you are one of those who likes to stay in their wintering phase and you're setting intentions and you're setting your strategy out for the year, last longer than over the Christmas period and wait into January until those days start getting a little bit lighter, then you do you. But either way, it is still really, really important that we have reflection and reset to be able to move forward with that intention, however fast or slow that is. But why is reflection so important? Well, here's the thing. We all know business and life moves fast. And as the days, weeks, and years go by, they seem to move faster and faster and faster. One moment you're riding high on wins, the next you're bogged down in challenges. Mrs. Universe is coming along and just upsetting the apple cart every which way she can. And staying in your to-do list and constantly striving without taking time to take a step back, it's easy to lose sight of what's truly important. Quarterly and yearly check-ins help you hit the brakes. Take a little time, take a little pause, celebrate the progress you've made, and course correct if needed. Or think of something new, or be creative, or just really have time to look at where you've been. We need to see how far we have to believe in the direction that we could go. It's not just about looking back, it's about using those insights to move forward with clarity and intention. Trust me, when you do it with intention, it's going to be a word that's going to keep coming up today. When you do it with intention, it really can be a game changer. I've made all of the mistakes in the last 15 months, and I hope I continue to make mistakes, because if I'm making mistakes, I'm failing fast, and I know that success will follow quite soon after. But I've made the mistakes of being in full-on hustle mode, launching offers, putting new things out there, trying to grow my audience, saying yes to everything. It felt productive, but ultimately I was being a little bit of a busy fool. And at the end of one quarter, I realised I was completely off course. The intentions that I had started so well with at the start of the year had somehow I had veered way off course. I'd lost sight of what I was trying to achieve and instead was stuck in the day-to-day. Content creating, selling, providing value, more of this, more of that. Focusing on the selling rather than the building the relationships. Less connection, less collaboration, just more. And I was wondering why I wasn't getting more results when I was doing more of what felt like all of the things. I sat down and reviewed my goals and noticed something glaringly obvious. The work I was doing wasn't aligned with where I wanted to go. Now, when I look back, if I had looked back and seen that the vision and the goals that I had set out and the strategy that I'd set out to get there wasn't in alignment anymore, then I could then course correct. I could then take the time to change that. But what I'd looked back and saw was that strategy, that goals, the vision that I had, I would say 85% of it was still really important to me, was still where I wanted to go. But I'd been so bogged down in the day-to-day and doing the things and chasing and striving from a negative point of view that I wasn't getting where I wanted to go. So when I look back at the goals and dreams and strategy, I was way off course to where I wanted to be. I was busy. I thought I was being productive, but it wasn't intentional because I wasn't asking myself, does this get me closer to where I want to go? Is this in alignment with me? Is this in alignment with the dream clients that I want to work with? So in that quarterly reset was a turning point. I let go of what wasn't working, doubled down on what felt aligned, and I started to see the progress over the next 3 months that I wanted. Progress that is going to continue into 2025. And I know the changes that I made 6 months ago, I am just beginning to see the benefits of now. And the changes that you make today, this week, next month, you will start seeing those benefits in the next 3 or 6 months. If you want to see what results you're getting today, look back at least 3 months, and what you were doing then shows you the results that you are getting. It wasn't easy. I had to be really honest with myself, but it was worth it. And it is so much easier to make decisions now based on the clarity that I was able to give myself. And now it means that I swear by check-ins. Now, I actually really enjoy daily check-ins, weekly check-ins, monthly, quarterly, and yearly, because they all do different things for me. And you might think that sounds like lots and it's just another thing to do. But when they're really simple, and I ask myself 3 questions at the end of every day, that is what gives me the focus for the next day. But today I want us to focus on either the quarterly or the year. Why yearly? Even when we may do quarterly check-ins, monthly check-ins, weekly check-ins, like I just said, why should we then do it yearly? Surely we've been told everything we need to be told because we're checking in so often within our business. But here's the thing. So often we don't pay attention to all of the achievements we have made. So often we forget about the challenge that we had right at the start of the year that was a pivotal moment within our business. So often we don't see that the growth that we have made in a larger space of time. We might remember the challenges, we might remember some of the failures, but do we remember the lessons that we need to be reminded of again so that we don't make those same mistakes again? And the lesson that you learned in February 2024, are you still aware of that now? Or are you on course to start making those same mistakes again? We need to see the achievements, especially when they may not be as obvious to begin with. Like, what about the relationships that you have built? What about the new connections that you have? What about new networks and new communities that you are part of? That they're not part of your figures. They're not a metric that you can look at, but they have made such a big difference to your business. What about your personal development? How far have you come as the CEO of your business? How far have you come as the CEO of your life? Are you a completely different person to who you were a year ago? And what does that now look like? What is that person's values? How does that person want to show up? And obviously, I'm not saying that you've changed your name and changed your personality, but I know that I look back at the Diane who was sitting on December 2023, and I am so different to her. And I have grown and I have adapted and I am more fulfilled, and I'm looking forward to 2025. So let's get practical. Here's how you can conduct your own quarterly or yearly review and reset really simply. There's also questions in here that you can ask yourself at the end of every day if you so wish, or please just reach out to me and I'll let you know about my daily resets. So reflecting on the past year or quarter, ask yourself, what went well? What made me feel really good? What did that success look like? What didn't go really well? And why didn't it go well? What marker are you giving it that it didn't go well? If something didn't sell or bring in the income that you wanted to bring in, if something didn't have the impact that you wanted it to have, what didn't go well and why? And then what surprised you? What is now a part of your business that you didn't think was going to be part of your business a quarter ago, 12 months ago? If I could tell Diane from December 2023 that she would have a membership and a podcast, I would say that she maybe dreamt that was what it was going to be, but I'm not sure she 100% believed it at that point. So it would surprise her. Look at the numbers. Look at your metrics. Where has the greatest growth come from? And when did that growth not happen? So when you're looking at your metrics, you're looking at the change of numbers, whether they go up or down, and why did they go up or down? If you need them, some metrics need to go down, some metrics need to go up. That's where the success lies within them. And if you're looking at your numbers and it was a positive result, how did you get that positive result? And if you want to get more of that result, how are you going to move forward with that? And if it was a negative result, why was it negative? What did you stop doing or start doing that changed that metric? Look at the wins. Look at where the strengths and the growth is coming from. But also look at the other wins too. The ones that you can't find on a spreadsheet. And yes, even look at the lessons. The lessons that you have learned from the struggles and challenges that came up. And how did that change your business? How did that change how you adapted and what you changed within your business? The last solo episode that I did, I talked about honouring your vision. And when you're doing a reflect and reset, you want to reconnect with that vision. You want to make sure that your current actions are aligned with that big picture goals. And if they're not aligned, is it because the big picture goals need to change, or that you have veered off course the exact same way I did earlier this year? And if they're not aligned, what needs to change? What do you need to do to bring them back on course? What is the beginning of 2025 going to look like for you to get those visions back on course and doing what you need to do? And as we go into that week where we're leading down into the holiday period, which is exactly where we are right now, what can you do to make sure that your business stays in alignment until the new year? Are you not working over the holiday period? Are you working? What does it look like, and how are you going to keep that vision going? Set intentions for the next quarter or the next year. If you're thinking about setting intentions for the next year, think about what you want to achieve. Is it income? Is it impact? Is it a new product? Is it a book or a podcast? And pick one or three that you're going to do over the next 12 months. You can't do all of the things. You have to make sure you do 1 to 3 of them very, very well. So it might be an income goal, an impact goal, and a book. So that's your 3 focus areas for the next year, your 3 big goals, your 3 big dreams. And then when you're thinking about the quarter, do exactly the same, but make it 1 to 3 focus areas that you can actually get done in the next quarter, just 1, 2, 3. But when it's focus areas, you might be looking at something like, I am going to focus on my visibility. I am going to focus on my email strategy. I need to get my finances in order. Don't overwhelm yourself with a million goals. Make sure they are actionable, they are strategic, and that they are measurable. If you do that, then you can make sure that you can see how far you've moved on them. And then you need to break them down into actionable steps. You want them to be things that you can do, small, implementable, incremental changes every day to get closer to the bigger goals that you were talking about. You want to do 1% changes, 1% gain on anything to get closer to the goals. It is the small things that you consistently do over a long period of time that will mean that you hit those goals. They will all have the compound effect of making the biggest difference in your business. Now, visibility might be bold, it might feel big action, but you can break that down into, I am going to find one group to speak in the first week in Jan. The second week in Jan, I'm going to make sure I go live on Instagram. The third week in Jan, I'm going to make sure that I connect with at least 5 new people. They are just small, actionable steps. And then even within those weeks, you can break that down. To get that one group to speak in, you might need to reach out to 10. To go live on Instagram, you might need to do a little bit of practice training, or maybe do an interview with somebody. All of these things can be broken down into those small, actionable steps that will be compound that then get you to those big goals. And then please, please, please plan it out. Use your calendar, assign specific goals to each day, week, month, whatever works for you and whenever you need to do it. If you want to achieve something by a certain time, you need to block out the time to do that, and you need to make sure that you have the time. So often when I'm working with clients and I hear them say, I want more income, I need more clients. But in the same breath, they're also telling me that they have no time, and how could they possibly work with anybody else? Which one do you want the universe to listen to? Do you want them to listen to that you want more clients, you want more income, or to listen to that you're too busy, you've not got any time, and how would you fit anybody else in? So if you're looking for new clients in January, plan out the time where you could service those clients. If you don't plan out the time, when those clients come, how are you going to deliver? If you want to launch a membership January, schedule it out. When are you going to do welcome calls? When is the membership doors going to open? When are you going to deliver within that membership? What does that look like? And do you have the time to deliver the membership that you want? If you're delivering one-to-one with clients, how many clients can you realistically work with? Use your calendar and plan it out and think about the business that you are wanting to build. And always, always remember that progress beats perfection every single time. Small steps every day. Fail, get back up, go again. Progress beats perfection. So here's what you need to do. You need to schedule 1 hour this week for your own yearly and quarterly check-in. Use the use the steps I just shared and don't overthink it. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do in the next 3 months to move it closer to where I want to be, to my big, bold goal, to that vision that I have so clearly set out for myself. Write it down, commit to it, and get excited, because every reset is a chance to level up. And when you've done, I'd love to hear about it. DM me or tag me on socials to share your insight. Let's celebrate those reflections and resets together. Let me know on the comments of the podcast exactly how you want to move forward. Remember, success isn't about grinding non-stop. When I talk about the hustle that it takes, I want you to enjoy the hustle. I want you to do the hustle when it gets you the results that you want to get, when it feels important, when it's having the impact and you're getting joy from it. And I want you to be able to have the time to pause away from the hustle when you need to too. It's about pausing to reflect, realign and reset. When you take the time to honour where you've been and where you're going, the results will follow. That's it for today's episode of the Joy Work Show. I hope it inspired you to take some time to reflect, reset and realign as we close out the year, and for you to have the holiday period that you are building the business for. Remember, the magic isn't just in hitting the goals, it's in learning from the journey and setting yourself up for a future that feels purposeful and joyful for you. I want to thank you for spending your time with me today. I never underestimate where people choose to spend their time and who they do it with. If you love this episode, don't forget to hit follow or subscribe so you never miss an update. And if you're enjoying what I'm saying and you're ready to learn a little bit more, get involved in any of my communities, and if anything is truly aligned with you, then come and join us in the Joy Work Members Club. The doors are currently open and we have a joyfully unhinged offer right now where you can get 31 days for free to check us out, find out what our vibe is and see if it's the place for you to have the 2025 that you and your business deserve. We go beyond the surface in there. We tackle our bold goals together and celebrate every win, big or small. In fact, today, as this episode airs, we will be coming together to plan our biggest year yet. You can find all of the details if you come and follow me on Instagram at Diane Taylor Parker, or in the show notes, there is a link that you can click and go and find everything you need to know. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend or post about it on social media. I would love to hear your reflections and resets. But until next time, where I'll be joining you with another fabulous guest, keep doing the work that matters and finding the joy that makes it all worthwhile. And I hope you're having some festive fun this week, and I'll see you soon.